Hi, friends. Okay, I'm gonna straighten my hair.
Freeze, pause, stop. Okay, that's what this video was originally going to be about hair and beauty and stuff like that. It's about princesses now. So, yeah, listen up. Was blonde the only rhyme? Now, the original idea for this video came from the hatred and racism that was thrown towards actress Avantika online for a fan casting of Tangled, Disney's 2010 animated film about Rapunzel. This event happened about a year ago, but the conversation is incredibly relevant. So many others made videos about this, and I'll leave them down below, but this is what I have to say. Stop casting girls of color if you aren't going to protect them publicly. Avantika was casted by a fan, but the amount of racist attention the post garnered tells you good and plenty about how people who are not like us feel about us. This isn't about a princess, it's about racism. Halle Bailey and Rachel Zegler are two actresses who were cast by the Disney company that experienced this as well. And seeing them interact about the topic in their Actors on Actors interview, you can feel their pain. Because at the end of the day, every girl of color has felt small in spaces that didn't want her there, especially within the arts. The arts are often a place that feels liberating to express yourself in, but can be so limiting to be included in. Sopranic, dreamy, blonde characters dominate the leading female roles, leaving little space for soulful, colorful talent. And honestly, it's less of the role giving us space, it's the opportunity that comes far and few between. Looking at beautiful actresses like Ciara Renee as Elsa on Broadway gives me all the love and hope that we too can be casted as strong characters such as Elsa, who just happened to be blonde. Girls of color are dreamy, ethereal, royal, strong, and beautiful, along with all other describing qualities you have of a princess. Blonde comes with this currency, almost quite literally. Fairy tales such as Goldilocks, Rumpelstiltskin, and the Brothers Grimm's Rapunzel tell us of blonde lost girls who find their way through their sorrow. All the while, their beauty that their golden hair gives them is the most memorable thing about them. Other characters such as Myrtle and Daisy in The Great Gatsby are often described to be vastly different from each other, from their hair to the names that they're given. More examples include Blair and Serena from Gossip Girl, the blonde and brunette besties trope. Characters who are foils to the protagonist are often described as darker haired, having more ethnic features. Thinking of the Disney villain theory, for example, they can be described as more promiscuous, or are more eccentric or louder than their counterpart. Songs such as Opposite by Sabrina Carpenter or Lacy by Olivia Rodrigo also express the conflicting, almost jealous feelings that come with looking different from a romantic partner's new or previous partners. This is also reflected in musicals when it comes to altos and sopranos. It can often lead to this feeling or sense of competition of trying to prove yourself, proving that you can play this role just as well as someone whose voice, quote, fits the part better. Gold hair with a gentle curl. A simple sentence that made giant waves. 4 words that create a specific chaos within me: gold, hair, gentle, and curl. There's something about a, quote, gentle curl that my hair has never been. It's that phrase. Maybe when I was a baby, before my real curl pattern kicked in. But to describe a curl as gentle feels like the exact opposite of a coily or kinky head of hair. When Cynthia Erivo sang those words together, it felt as though she opened my eyes up to a whole new world of feelings that I knew but could never describe. You're probably thinking, what does saffron have to do with blondes? Well, it's often described as the most expensive spice, or more expensive than gold. which draws comparison to golden blonde hair and saffron's rich yellow color that appears in food. It also compares the societal value that each item has. For example, the perceived superiority Western media and Western beliefs have cast onto blonde hair. Watch Tiffany Berg's video for more. Let's talk about Annabeth and Percy Jackson, in the movies and in the recent TV show. If you Google Annabeth Percy Jackson, countless images of fan art of a white, blonde Annabeth pop up. Now, the casting of Leiya Jeffries was unfortunately the same as we've seen prior. Fans of Percy Jackson were very bold to claim that this was not their Annabeth. Thankfully, Riordan's support of Leiya and her casting was public, which not only gave the young actress more confidence in her ability to play this role, but for the most part that I have seen at least, made these racist fans shut up. This behavior is not about accuracy. This behavior is not about passion for the original body of work. This behavior is about racism. This behavior is about the blatant disregard for the actors of color's humanity and their ability to portray fantasy characters. To summarize, the story of Rudaba, or Rudabe, is about the princess of Kabul, who marries Zal, another central character in the Shahnameh. The Shahnameh is the national epic poem of Persia, written by poet Ferdowsi. Quote, Rudaba's union with Zal, another central figure in the Shahnameh, reveals as a tale of love blossoming amidst the tumultuous backdrop of familial strife and societal expectations. Ferdowsi's lyrical prose vividly portrays their courtship, with Rudaba's ethereal beauty captivating Zal from their first encounter. Their clandestine meetings, whispered confessions, and eventual union symbolize the triumph of love over adversity, a theme that resonates throughout the annals of Persian literature and folklore. Hearing his words, she, the beautiful Rudaba, loosened her hair, which cascaded down, tumbling like snakes, loop upon loop. She said, Come, take these black locks which I let down for you, and use them to climb up to me. Zal gazed in astonishment at her face and her hair. As I did research for this video, I found it so interesting that there is proof of the Rapunzel story not being based in Germany or being based in really any European country originally. Now, this isn't to convince anyone why Avantika or any other actress of color should be casted in any fantasy film or show. The fact of the matter is, you shouldn't have to be convinced. It shouldn't be a question of whether or not this actress, because this is always happening to an actress. It shouldn't be a question of whether or not she can do the job before you've seen the material. Let the work speak for itself, and speak they will. Untapped biases and blatant racism shouldn't be put on the shoulders and backs of artists to deal with. That is a responsibility of the individual to deal with, of the viewer, the racist viewer to deal with. And it is the responsibility of labels, production companies, and other major corporations to protect their employees, because that's what it is at the end of the day, a job. And Disney and Disney casting directors should take a page out of Rick Riordan's book and actively speak up for their actors. But this is something I wrote in my journal not too long ago, and I think it's pretty fitting to today's topic. So here it is. I think girls of color make perfect princesses. We know what it's like to go through hardship, judgment, cruelty, and still carry on. Have grace, composure, strength, tenacity, and confidence. Standing up for our people is what we do. Warriors in battle, we speak up, stand up, and fight for what's right. To be treated fairly and with respect. That is what a POC princess does.